Hello everybody, this is Peter. It's Sunday the 11th of August. I usually announce myself as Peter the Rock, but my friend Dave Figley sometimes calls me Lord Rock, which is nearer to my real name, but then who cares about that? I'm in the middle of a wood. In fact, by nominative determinism, this is Chorley Wood. That sentence sort of went wrong, but it's, as I've filmed here before, in the middle of this wood, very peaceful, and it's a very hot day, and it's a good day to come. I want to tell you a little story. There's a very good friend of mine I've known for a long time, and to spare his blushes, I won't call him by his real name. I will call him Martin. Now, Martin had a career with the security services, which is why I can't really talk about him very much. But anyway, he sometimes communicates with me and sometimes comments on my videos, so thanks very much, Martin. One thing he said was that he would like to hear more history, rather than, as he called it, me wandering around paths. As if I don't entertain enough. Anyway, guess where I am? I'm at a bench. And this, for those of you who haven't seen this bench before, is the famous or infamous Marjorie, Waddy and Bruno bench. Remembering their happy walks together. There you are, you can see the words. I don't make it up. I didn't stick it on there myself. This is a source of some intrigue. So what sort of animal Bruno was or is. Anyway, the story that reminds me that Marjorie is a very sort of old English name, a sort of the era of the 1950s. But I knew one. I knew a Marjorie, and it was a strange. This is for Martin. This story. I went to a sort of, I wouldn't call it a nightclub, a sort of disco place in my late 30s, and I was reaching the age where, people wouldn't let me in because they thought I was too old. But anyway, they let me in, and across the way in the club, I saw a woman who looked very attractive to me, and she seemed to be on her own. And anyway, to cut a long story short, I went up and chatted to her a bit and offered to buy her chicken and chips in the basket or some such, wonderful line, and she accepted. So we had that and a bit of wine and so on. Cut a long story short, we had a friendship for only a few weeks, because she came from a country in the Middle Americas called Belize. Well, the reason I mention this woman is because she glorified in the name Delverine Marjorie Ordinette. A few years ago, I did try and find her on the internet, and I think she was there, but it's a bit difficult with this sort of passage of time to be certain of people, and all the names happen every now and then. But absolutely beautiful lady, and it was a good friendship. But the thing I remember the most, if you haven't guessed yet, she was a black lady. We went out for a meal or two, and a pub. We went to a pub out in the countryside, and when we walked in, the conversation stopped, and I got the impression that people hadn't, they were conscious that she was black, and so it's a bit embarrassing really, and quite ridiculous. This is way out in the sticks. It wouldn't happen in London or more cosmopolitan areas. So I was embarrassed for her. We had a quick drink and got out of there, but it was just quite silly. And in the context of these recent Stockport riots. It just shows that this sort of thing used to happen even quite a long time ago. It's my only experience of, I call it racial discrimination by proxy. This may be controversial. Lovely lady. I hardly noticed that she was black, but I certainly noticed in the pub because of the looks and the atmosphere. But Delverine, if you're still around and you look at YouTube, there's no reason why you could possibly look up my videos. But I wish you well. It's a long time since we met, and I'm sure you've got married, had kids, perhaps the kids have had kids, who knows. You might be in Belize, you might be anywhere else in the world, but that's the story. And it was rather nice, a little interlude really, a little sort of brief encounter you could call it. Here is a bird on a post. This is just to show you that I don't just tell stories from my past, but I'm into art as well. So there you go, Martin. If that's not enough for you, let me know and I can do another story or walk along a path or whatever. Yeah, I suppose I could do requests, couldn't I? I imagine most of them would be to, oh, don't do any more HS2 stuff, we're sick of that, from one side of the populace. And on the other side it would be, oh, please do some HS2 stuff, I'm dying to know how many more feet it's moved. And I did that in the same voice. This isn't you, dear viewer, you know, this is obviously an atypical viewer. I did it in the same voice to show no bias or prejudice towards one type of viewer or another. I'm aiming to please all peoples. So there we go. It was an eye-opener for me, the little Delverine friendship, and it's just quite interesting or amusing to me that her middle name was Marjorie, and that's the name of the lady on the bench, Marjorie Waddy, who is remembered with, used to go for walks with Bruno, ruff, who might well have been a dog, a bear, a giraffe, or maybe even a bloke, but I shouldn't think it's a woman. Here we are at the cricket. It's Sunday the what is it? The 11th of August, I think. Thanks a lot for watching. Peter the Rock. Like and subscribe. Cheers.